And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
I'm going to play you guys straight out there in Dysfunction Junction land. It has been a long week. It has been a longer weekend, and we are here after 7 of the longest days in human history. Not for any particular reason, just that we're old, and man, this week is just blown. That's all I got to say. Welcome, you son of a bitches, to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell it's been a long week when Herm's fuck yeah has got the sound of, honey, let's just go in the bedroom and take a nap. Chris Burns here. With me, as always, is the Possum King himself, looking dapper as hell today.
Hi.
And your name is?
Hello, Chris Lynch.
Yeah, of course. And, of course, the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, and the man who just last week was cast as the understudy for the killer from Saw. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
What is up?
Nothing. We got somebody live on the Facebook. I don't know if we have anybody on the YouTube stream. We're going to get a couple of you in here once we see you in the comment section. We got a little bit of something fun for you today. But first, Lynch is hijacking the show. He's got a bunch of topics he wanted to talk about, and I did a little digging on one of them, and I'm genuinely surprised at what I read.
Well, let's start with that one. What piqued your interest out of my spiel of shit yesterday?
The story of the Pennsylvania governor's house being firebombed or arsoned or whatever, nearly arsoned.
Whoa, yeah. So Josh Shapiro's house in where the hell does he live? It's like near Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, Pennsylvania, obviously, but I'm trying to think of the capital of Pennsylvania. Isn't that where the governor's mansion is? Fucked if I know. I'm going to Google it.
This young lad decided it would be a really good idea to scale the security fence, armed with a couple of Molotov cocktails and glass beer bottles, and firebomb the governor of Pennsylvania's dining room while they were there.
Oh.
Now, there's a couple interesting things. My first interesting thing, I thought it was like, interesting. First day of Passover. On a Sunday, when he knows the family is going to be home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any connection to this guy is close to the family or has had any interaction with the family whatsoever. I haven't dug that deep. I just felt it was kind of oh shit, oh holy shit, wow moment that you would think the governor may have had a little bit better security measures in place to prevent that from happening. I don't know if this guy disabled any security systems. Did he case the place? I just know that after he was taken into custody, all he was doing was mugging for the camera and making goofy faces at the camera, sticking his tongue out, not taking it very seriously. So he's been charged with arson, attempted murder, or homicide, whatever. And just we're really kind of trying to start to find out a little bit more about this guy. What makes him tick, and why did he decide to go after Josh Shapiro? Chris?
One of the things in the story is that this kid struggled with this kid. He was 38 years old. 30. Twice treated at a psychiatric hospital in recent years. Scaled the 7-foot fence. Police caught it, or whether it was police or security, who then called the police, scaled the 7-foot fence, led them on a chase around the property, the security detail, broke into the main dining area where they do entertaining for, dignitaries and whatnot. 2 homemade Molotov cocktails made out of beer bottles and gasoline. Did significant damage that is told to be in the millions of dollars. And his brother is quoted as saying his brother has admitted to harboring hatred toward Governor Shapiro, but no reason was given why. So there is going to be hopefully an investigation as to why this crazy fool, other than being crazy, did what he did. It's not a look. Our politicians are in the line of fire every day, whether they like it or not. You signed up for this job. You ran. You were elected. You have to expect a certain level of backlash from the people. I don't necessarily think someone trying to set your house on fire should be one of them, or being shot at, or fire grenaded, or what have you. It's a sad world we live in. We used to have, things like this happen once every 3-4 years, maybe 5 years when we were kids. These are happening like once every 3-4 months now. And I'm not sure what the answer is.
If you want to really put it in real perspective, violent crime happens multiple times a day.
Correct.
Multiple times a day.
I'm talking about to politicians and dignitaries, not just like, Joe Shit the Ragman from down the block.
Well, this is true. That's true. I still haven't heard anything. I don't know because I didn't have much of a chance to dig today, but
I think that's because society doesn't think they're special like they used to be, and I mean that in that wholeheartedly in a positive way.
No, I understood what you meant.
Not. They're just
talking about the politicians?
I don't give a fuck what your job is if I'm mad at you. I don't care who you decided or who voted for you. Your job is your job. Nobody gives a fuck about what I do for a living when they commit violence against me. You shouldn't take into account that he's special. Nah. Fuck around, find out. I'm sorry. There it is.
Completely agreed. Not to say that we should hold our politicians and people like that on a pedestal. I'm going to get into the article I've got here. This is from the AP.
Maybe they should be afraid that they're not on that pedestal. And maybe they should be afraid about the decisions they make and how it might affect somebody's lives and how somebody might firebomb their fucking house. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying maybe it gives you pause for thought.
Yeah, I don't live in Pennsylvania, so I don't know what kind of good or bad decisions Governor Shapiro's made. I'm going to read this from the AP Wire.
You know why everybody's nice to everybody in Colorado? Because
you're all high?
West. No, because it's the Wild West here, and everybody probably has a fucking gun. But we're not Texas, and we don't blow up about it.
There you go.
Likely, everybody in the fucking place is fucking strapped. That's why everybody's nice, and we wave in the Midwest. Everybody's got a gun.
There's a big difference when there's a level playing field, Herm.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a level playing field, everybody knows what to expect, which is why I'm a proponent of open carry. Fuck it.
I carry that fucking duty piece like a fucking cannon. Do you think you got it, punk? This thing will put a hole the size of Colorado in your chest.
Well,
leave a hole 2 feet.
That's my whole argument about this concealed carry in Connecticut. When I was first, got my retested for my gun permit, 5 years ago, whatever the fuck it was, they were still allowing open carry. And then when they started enforcing the concealment, I would have cops. Can you just make an effort to tuck it under your t-shirt? I get it. You're old school. You open carry. Blah blah blah. Well, I'd rather somebody see it and know the fact. Just leave me the fuck alone. If you're thinking for a moment that you want to fuck with me,
I'm not the right
take that
one.
moment.
Yeah,
take the moment to pause and take a look at me. Look at me totally.
And remember, when you're looking elsewhere, I'm here watching your ass with this on my hip.
Yep,
exactly. So anyway, Chris, you had a point, I'm sure.
No, I'm going to read this from the AP. This was dropped last night, updated about 2 hours ago. The man who allegedly, they got him, but innocent till proven guilty. Scaled the iron fence. He's facing charges including attempted homicide, domestic terrorism, and arson. He spoke with a public defender at times and appeared in court late Monday after being released from a psychiatric hospital. No, a regular hospital to be treated, whatever. He did tell the police when he was caught he planned to beat Governor Shapiro with a small sledgehammer if he encountered him.
If he had found him while he was in the house, he was going to beat him with the hammer he had.
Yeah, the motive for the attack, including whether it had anything to do with Shapiro's politics or religion, isn't immediately clear. The suspect's mother told the Associated Press on Monday that she made calls in recent days about his mental health issues, but nobody would help or nobody would listen. Her son was not on any medication, which is weird. However, in court, the suspect politely told the judge he does not suffer from any mental illness. Quote, "That's the rumor, but no, ma'am, I'm okay." All right. You've had 2 stints in a psychiatric hospital. You've been diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia, but you're okay.
Well, that goes back to our point when we were talking a couple of weeks ago about mental health. You got to be self-aware of it.
Mm-hmm. The crazy person doesn't know they're crazy.
Exactly. And a lot of times they don't want to hear it when they're pointed out they're crazy. You know what you're talking about. That's what this kid sounds to me.
I'm okay.
Just based upon, I've seen the video of him getting hooked up. They're putting bracelets on him. He's like making funny faces at the camera. He's not quite connected to reality. So that's why I'm very interested to hear his side of the story. I don't know anything about Josh Shapiro. I don't know anything about his politics. I don't know anything about Pennsylvania politics. I haven't heard any bad things about Josh Shapiro. So that makes me think he kind of flies under the radar and he's just a middle of the road politician. So I can't imagine for in a million years what policy he could stand behind or enact that would make anybody go nuts after him.
Yeah, the few things I know about Josh Shapiro, Democrat, Jewish, governor of Pennsylvania, that's it. He's not one of those guys that makes huge headlines like Gretchen Whitmer, you know. There's another fucking basket case. But for all intent and purpose, when they were when Biden removed himself from candidacy and Kamala took his place, there was a strong sentiment that Josh Shapiro would be the running mate, and she went with Tim Walz. Would it have changed the outcome? I don't know. But Josh Shapiro is from all the things I've seen of him, very likable, very down-to-earth human being. Not one of these, pound your chest like Gavin Newsom and I'm the law and this is this. No, just a likable character. A lot like around here, one of the Democrat senators, I can't remember his name. Fuck. But just a down-to-earth character. Not full of himself. And plenty of Republicans are the same way. I don't want anybody thinking I'm picking on Democrats here. I'm just going on what I know about Josh Shapiro. Also, very well spoken. He's not a fumblegums.
No, and a few interviews that I kind of researched to find more out about him today, he seems pretty well put together. Very articulate. Decent dude. Like I said, he hasn't been on my radar. So other than that, because when you just said that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. He did. That was Josh Shapiro was like front and center out of most Democrats' mouths when it came time for her to pick a running mate. I don't know if there was an ideological problem between the two of them. Probably, because from just the very little I've seen of him, he seems to be the more no nonsense Democrat. Where he's actually kind of 50-50.
He's very moderate.
Very moderate. Yeah, very moderate.
And very popular amongst the people of Pennsylvania from what I'm looking at now.
Yeah, apparently he's governor.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can become governor by the slimmest of margins, but his approval rating from what I'm reading is quite high. Let me get that story back up.
Would you believe that allegedly, since all this tariff bullshit, that Trump's approval rating has gone up?
Yes and no. I don't see why.
Those numbers depend on the breadth of the scope of the poll that's being taken.
Right.
Nationally, no. Depending on where you ask that question, possibly.
Okay, so real quick, Josh Shapiro, since 2 years ago, scoring one of the lowest approval ratings in gubernatorial history in Pennsylvania, has shot up 29 points. You ready for this? To a 30% approval rating, up from 1% 2 years ago.
Well, weren't they under a Republican governor for a number of years?
A lot of the state legislature was, yes.
Yeah. So,
but
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing here, he's done a lot to kind of mend whatever fences he may have blown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So, again, it's in this article, it says, his rise in popularity is nothing they've seen in that state from having such a low approval rating. So he's doing something right. But I don't think the first time I heard about this, you brought it up in the chat and I looked it up and I read a couple articles. The first thing I thought was this is either politically driven or somebody brought up religiously driven, because it is the first day of Passover. Josh Shapiro is a Jewish person, his whole family, Jewish. And then you read more and it just turns out this person's crazy and just hates Governor Shapiro. And like we mentioned before, this is not self-diagnosis. This is, 2 stints in the Club Med for the sick in the head, and he's been clinically diagnosed schizophrenic and bipolar. Why would the mother saying, I tried calling people, no one would help. What were you doing, ma'am? What were you doing to help Sonny Boy, 38 years old, crazy as a loon, letting him walk out of the house for any reason? Not that she should have to care. Sorry, not that she should have to care for a 38-year-old man, but if it's a 38-year-old man with those mental deficiencies, there should be someone being a caretaker for him.
Had it been any other situation, given any other situation, and that is her story, I would tend to believe her, because unfortunately, a lot of local government doesn't take mental health very seriously.
Mm-mm.
It is one of the first departments that's ever either gruesomely slashed their budgets, or gruesomely slashed, or just unfunded to cover other special interests. And you got to figure local government's budget isn't in the billions of dollars like the federal government. It's only hundreds of thousands to millions. But given the circumstances that he's got a history of this, she's probably known all his life he's batshit crazy. I agree with you. Maybe he should be under somebody's purview. Maybe he shouldn't be wandering the streets alone.
Yeah,
that's a lot of maybes. We don't know the guy. I'm just going from what I know.
Oh yeah, speculation and 50 cents. Yeah, speculation and 50 cents will get us a cup of coffee. Not sure it's going to be a hot one though, but it's a cup of coffee regardless. First of all, twice institutionalized in the last few years. So there's obviously he's on somebody's radar, whether it's clinically, criminally. They said he's been on probation in recent years.
Oh, so yeah, he's gone off the rails out in public at a fucking Wawa somewhere. And
you leave Wawa out of this.
You leave the good goddamn name of Wawa out of your fucking mouth. No, I love
those turkey sandwiches are the bomb.
Their hoagies are the best. Not to turn this into a Wawa commercial, but yeah, he's probably got himself thrown in the clink a few times because he's fucking crazy. You would expect somebody like that to have some sort of record, either upstairs or behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just I do agree with you as well, Herm, is that whether you're a politician or not, you're just a dude to me. I respect the position, but as far as the man goes, he's just another man.
Yeah, I don't know
him. Or another person.
Yeah.
Whether, male or female, whoever the fuck it is. You're just another person to me.
If it's one of you two or a neighbor who I think is quite nice, yeah, that's you worry, you feel bad for them. The nameless, faceless, even though he's not necessarily nameless or faceless, he's on our radar. But yeah, he's a dude. Just as much of a dude as, say, the CEO that got shot in the back in broad daylight some months ago. Yeah, I could give a shit less that he's alive or dead, but his wife and kids do. He means something to somebody.
Right. Well, and you got to look at it like just as the human aspect of the story. 3 innocent people could have lost their lives.
Technically 5. He's got 4 kids and a wife, and they were entertaining, but those people were on the far end of the house.
Yeah.
It was for Passover. I guess what they call it, the first dinner of Passover is the Seder. Am I saying that right? If you're out there and you're Jewish, please do not send hate mail to cburns19@gmail.com. I'm trying. I'm learning on the fly. Yeah, I'm learning on the fly about how the Jewish religion handles things. But yeah, it's very important to remember that it happened on that day. There are certain groups, I will say, who, if you attack them on one of their holidays, Muslims, Palestinians, they get mad. They call it an act of war, yet they will do the same to you, October 7th, and they won't think twice about it. Rules for you, rules for thou, not for thee, or whatever the fucking old
Rules
saying
for thee
is.
and not for me.
There you go. Thank you for filling that in. But yeah, I hope more details come out. Not that I think we're ever going to get anything out of this guy about why he did it, other than I was looking for some French fried potatoes. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, there's always that aspect of it.
Oh yeah,
but whatever. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember the guy. Go ahead, Lynch, please.
My wife had a very valid point. See, my wife is. We're not completely alike. Our political leanings are totally different. She is the compassionate human side of the relationship, where she'll emotionally react to that. Where I went, oof, that sucks. That was my reaction. And she's like, what happened? And I told her, she's like, oh my God. I'm like, she gets that kind of reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps me kind of grounded into maybe, all right, yeah, think about it. The human side of the story is people could have died.
Mm-hmm.
But
did you die?
She's like, does it? No,
that's how you learn. Die?
The other part of it is, oh fuck! I think I lost my point.
Okay.
Yeah, ooh, there it goes. Last clue to Clarksville. I'll meet you at the station. So that was her reaction, and she stated, she's like, do you think it has anything to do with what's going on in Washington? Is this what guy's way of starting his little revolution? Because
never say never.
In her opinion, and I respect it, and I understand where she's coming from, and I still hold the possibility is that enough people who think he's absolutely crazy could get together and try to start something and react in violence.
Great. The Rain Man revolution is about to begin in Pennsylvania. Strap it on, kids.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about throughout the rest of the country, not just Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, but it starts somewhere. You know what I mean? Everything is a start. Arm's ready.
I'm ready. I'm legitimately.
I'm almost there.
It's popping off this administration if it does, and I'm ready.
I don't know. Anyway,
you won't get an argument out of me.
I'm not going to go down that road tonight.
Yes.
Which led me to another story not story, but a guy on YouTube I follow called Second Chancer. Guy Jesse, he was in prison for a number of years because he was a dumb young kid who got in line with a bunch of shitbags. Wrong place, wrong time. He did 18 years in the can. And this is his channel and what life after prison.
Oh, he's freezing up on us.
There he is. Nope.
You good, bro?
You good?
Yeah, we got you now.
All right. He got you. So it's post his prison and his release and all that stuff. And kind of really what prison is supposed to do is rehabilitate people. Because there's a difference between incarceration and rehabilitation. And
there's a reason they call it the Department of Corrections.
I used to think that that's what the jail system was, how it was frameworked, and I get why it's not so much the corrections part, it's just housing. Mm-hmm. But he was talking the other day, he was talking about guys in prison who get jobs. And there is, I don't know what states, because I really only half heard it and I haven't had a chance to go back to listen to it, that the pay they get is like 35, 45 cents an hour to do a job, whatever job that may be. And I guess in a few states, there is a movement to push that wage to at least the federal minimum wage, or if not, the state minimum wage of which you're incarcerated.
I don't like that.
Well, look, hear me out here.
You're not a full-fledged citizen while you're incarcerated.
I'll get there.
We're going to hear him out.
So, and he is of the exact same opinion as I am, which is why I've been thinking about it for a few days. He said, I understand what people are saying. And the viewpoint behind that is if the point of prison is true rehabilitation and correction and to change your life to put you on the right path, it would give incentive for people who might just need a little bit of an extra push to get a job in prison, to build a routine, to build responsibility, to be reformed, to become a functional citizen in today's society. Now, my standpoint is I don't think it should be the state minimum wage, federal minimum wage. If you're going to do that, make it federal minimum. Because it's low.
I'd go slightly lower. If let's say your federal minimum wage is $8.25.
Federal tipped.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. $4.25.
Federal tipped, no tips. That's it.
That's fine.
That's the best you get. That's the
best.
That's
what I was going to say.
I'm going to tell you it's $1 an hour and suck it up, inmate.
$4.25. You know what? I understand the humanity of it and what you're saying and how this gentleman's. Wait, hold on. I understand the humanity of it, but what we have to realize is he didn't just walk in there and rent a room. He committed a crime that put him in this facility. Now,
right.
If you're a guy, hear me out. If you're a guy who went out one night, fell asleep at the wheel, slid into a busload of nuns, and you have to do a year or two in the can, that's a different story than a guy who went out and robbed a bunch of banks and stole grandma's pension and sold a boat that wasn't his, or any number of things on the low end that get you into prison. If you're a hardened criminal, if you're somebody who's in there for, say, 15 years for diddling a kid and chopping up grandma, no, $4, get out. Put it in your maybe they have a savings account for them. You get $2 of it now. We put $2 away so you can go to commissary and get soap and toilet paper. That's fine. But no, they shouldn't be treating these guys like, pampered babies. But I see the humanity in it.
I'm not saying pamper them.
Make it a mandatory class then. Teach them about money, how to budget, how to use it. Fuck that. That's how they survive. You fucked up. You made bad choices. You pay your debts to society, quote unquote, but we did it because while you were in there, we gave you some more shit. We taught you shit. We learned you some shit. Then you got that all for fucking free while you was paying the debts to society. So no, you really shouldn't be earning any fucking big dollar amount because technically you're getting free fucking learning and education to begin with if you can get it.
Oh yeah, there are guys that have come out of prison, and I've watched these documentaries.
When you get out, you don't get to start. You fucked up, so now you get to start lower rungs on the pole. Then the rest of regular society gets to start on a shitty small ladder.
I've heard stories on these documentaries, easy for me to say, of guys who come out of the prison with a degree. There are people out here who can't afford to go to fucking junior college.
We paid for.
Give my money back. By the way, hope everybody filed their taxes because Erwin R. Shyster is.
Today's the deadline.
It's his day.
Nah, not yet. I'm waiting for a tax guy to call me. He'll handle it next week.
There you go.
You'll be
grace
fine.
period. The grace period is what? April 25th.
It depends where you are and what you did, but they filed an extension for me, and I'll do it now in October.
It depends.
I already paid my tax. I already paid my taxes. I just haven't filed my fucking thing. I need time for my tax guy to go over everything and look at it, make sure it's right, and then send it in.
Not that I need a new obsession, but Lynch, after the show, or shows plural. If you could send me the name of that YouTuber or link me to a video, like I need another YouTube obsession, I'd like to watch some of his stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
one of my guilty pleasures lately, and I didn't get to see it, although it's on the DVR recorded list. I'm having a fun time watching the train wreck that is Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup. You want to talk about a bitch who did not learn a fucking thing. Sure, she learned what she did was wrong and what her little boyfriend at the time did was wrong. She gets married in prison. She comes out. She gets not divorced. She separates, hooks up with an old boyfriend, gets pregnant. Now the baby's here. It's like you're watching this not in real time, but maybe 3 months out due to production. And you're just like, I cannot believe this shit is real. What did this girl learn behind bars? You don't want to be in the spotlight. Don't have a fucking TV show. Go make a couple personal appearances like she does at colleges around the country, talking to young women. Do that. But don't have a fucking A&E Discovery Channel Lifetime Schnabitz Fernham show if you don't want to be in the spotlight. Because there's a moment on the show where they have her on this little paddle boat with her new man, baby daddy, whatever the fuck you want to call him. People are rowing by. Gypsy. She goes, oh, God. Yeah. She's like, oh, God. Why can't I just go anywhere? Bitch, you put yourself on television. You agreed to this. Guess, much like we spoke about Josh Shapiro, you put yourself in the fucking spotlight. If you don't want to be recognized, either wear makeup everywhere like Gene Simmons and hide your face with a napkin, or shut the fuck up and deal with it. Kill the TV show, live your life in fucking peace, get off the internet, stop doing the Instagram videos about your life, shut the fuck up.
Which leads me to my next point.
Your Gypsy Rose baby daddy?
Women. No, they jammed 6 women in a dildo-looking space thing and shot them into space for 12 minutes. Like it was a big deal. It's not. I just saw that today. Speaking of spotlight, people who haven't had a spotlight on them in the last couple of decades or years.
Yeah, I saw a couple of
your career.
I saw Katy Perry was on that vehicle, and I thought, you want her to get shot into space for 12 minutes? Send her to my house. I'll take care of that. I'll knock that shit out.
No,
it'd be the best 12 minutes she ever had.
What fucking ever? And they weren't really truly in space. They got to the point where they could get to the point where they'd be weightless for a couple of minutes. The whole thing from launch to land was 12 minutes.
Yeah. Where are you going to go?
It was about 5.
Yeah. And then you hang out for 3-4 minutes. Ooh, look, I'm weightless. And they had, what was it? One of them had the little Lilo and Stitch doll, and it's floating. Ooh, look at that. And then they're back. Which proves two things.
I'm not denying it.
Go ahead.
I'm not denying it's a fucking cool thing.
Oh
shit! I'd like to do that for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't. Whatever. It's not on my bucket list.
I can live without it.
Yeah.
But it proves two things. The American people will eat up anything. And the second thing it proves, if you look out that window, the earth isn't flat.
But is it?
No, because space is fake on flat earth.
And then that was the next thing today was, oh man, look, the worst CGI ever in that fake space launch.
Oh Christ.
All right, guys, take a tinfoil hat off.
They've been lying to you. Listen, it's hard enough for 3 people who did some silly shit when they were teenagers to keep their story straight for 1 week. You think the government can keep people quiet for 75, 80, 90, 100 years? Don't think so. Don't think so. They've been lying to you. Well, who's they? NASA. NASA is one of 117 space agencies. And if somebody really wanted to blow up NASA's spot, which is an American thing, the Chinese could have come out at any time. Any one of our enemies could have come out and said, NASA been lying to you. Earth is flat. We know.
Yeah.
And blown the whole thing out of the fucking water. Oh, we'll take you to the dome. We'll knock on it. You can see it's real. Get the fuck out of here with all that shit.
Well, thank you for call Shitty Walk.
Yeah. $6,000.
Who put shitty sushi next to my shitty wok?
What about $62?
Gotta love South Park.
Yes, indeed.
Been on for 26 fucking seasons.
I know. It's right up there with The Simpsons as one of the longest animated shows ever.
Fucking crazy, man. Crazy. Well, as long as America keeps being ridiculous, it can last forever.
America needs ridiculousness now and again. Not the show where people send in videos of them falling off a skateboard. When I say ridiculousness, you need a release. You know, life isn't all bitching about politics and, you know, reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And, you know, you need some laughter in your life. And as long as we need laughter, we're going to get it.
Absolutely, man.
Which is why at 52 years old, every time I come across a clip that just makes me laugh, of whether it's Beavis and Butthead or the old school Tom and Jerry or Bugs Bunny, when everybody wasn't so titty sensitive, and you can drop an anvil and know, you know what? It's okay for Wile E. Coyote, but I shouldn't do that to my brother.
Well, that's why cartoons last really can kind of last forever. That's why The Simpsons has been around so long. Family Guy, South Park. I mean, animated shows, and even just like Tom and Jerry type cartoons, they're timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Because little kids get the Tom and Jerry physical gags and the Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner gags. Kids think that people eating shit is one of the funniest fucking things on the planet. I know that's how I felt when I was 5-6 years old. I still laugh about it. My wife and I will spend hours on a Sunday rainy watching fail army videos back to back to back.
Oh, shit.
When people eat shit and like hurt themselves, it's fucking funny, especially when it's babies.
Oh yeah. Back to like, I'm sorry.
I mean, that's life. Life is
going back.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Going back to that, it's like a guilty pleasure now, because whenever I see one video, I have to watch 29 more. The cop, and I don't know where they're from, where they try to tripwire each other, and the balloon full of shaving cream smacks them in the head. Those videos, and I'm watching. I like, there's got to be a trigger. Where's the trigger?
Hey, Jen.
What up, Jen? 46-year-old woman do too. Well, there you go. As long as you're not baking on a string, man, we're okay. But yeah, it's the kind of shit, you know, you prank each other along the way when you're kids, or even in my case, into your 30s, by filling a guy's car full of styrofoam peanuts.
Best prank ever.
It was.
I will say you're welcome for having facilitated that.
Yes.
Best prank ever.
You were quite
mad at me. He was mad at me for fucking years.
Good.
Years.
That's well, he should.
A year later, he goes to turn on his fucking heat, and like peanuts are still shooting out of the fucking heating vents. That
is brilliant. You know what he did? You know what he did with those peanuts, right?
No.
He saved them. And I want to say it was
they were in the basement. They were in the basement of his house in Plainfield.
Around 2011, 2012, when I got divorced and I moved back to the area and I was his roommate, I had to take Emma home. It happened to be April 1st. Not only did he put my truck on Craigslist for sale, which was hilarious, but I got home and he and his kid had to be a good one of however many garbage bags we had of those peanuts. One full garbage bag under my fitted sheet, and then made the bed over it. So I got home and it looked like my bed had a beer belly. And I was like, I can't get mad at this. I cannot get mad at this. Student became teacher.
Yeah.
Jen says the videos of people scaring the shit out of each other kill me. I love those, especially the reactions.
Oh, yeah.
There was one I saw the other day of an older brother trying to scare the younger sister. Both are about, late high school age, and he's in this like nasty werewolf mask, and she comes around the corner and he goes, "Ugh!" and she kicks him dead in the nuts. And he doubles over, the mask falls off. It was funny shit. Herm, you don't get any pleasure out of funny videos? None? The guy today. Go ahead.
I watch mostly motorcycle and food videos. That's my algorithm.
I watched a motorcycle fail video the other day, and I got hurt. The dude's fucking around on his bike. Dude's fucking around on his bike. He's in the full suit, like the racing suit where you're protected head to toe. And he's fucking around, and he's no-handing it, and he's one-handing it, and he stands on the seat, and as he goes to jump down, the front wheel and the handlebars wiggled, and you got the death rattle. And the next thing you know, he is ass over tea kettle. Lucky for him, the bike hit a guardrail. He went ass over tea kettle into the brush. Man, I had to turn it off. It hurt. It hurt me.
I feel those throughout my body as he was hitting shit. I literally feel those.
Understood. Hey, Jen, if you're going to be here for a while, we got a little surprise for you later. We're going to play a little game. Herm and myself and Lynch had fun earlier today, and we're going to roast each other a little bit. In about, what do you think, about 15 minutes?
Sure.
Get a little more fun out of this? I just want to see the reactions of all of us. We're going to roast each other. We're going to have fun. Oh, anyway. What was one of the other stories you had lined up for today? Herm said something about Mr. Miyagi. Where the fuck did that come from?
Mr. Miyagi tariffs?
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it was Mr. Miyagi. I didn't get as far as tariffs. I got to that. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, one of the things about the tariffs, it's almost as if the government might be looking in on our conversations. Did you see what was pulled off of the table for the tariffs? iPhones. Any sort of microprocessors,
smart TVs, processors. He's already said that's he's already said that's they're already backing that up.
Yeah, I saw
that back.
I saw that for the first time. Was it yesterday morning? And I giggled. I'm like, you prickly fuck.
Yeah, they already started walking that back. He started walking that back Friday on the plane in an interview before the UFC fight.
We've talked about it. None of us are really economists. I did reach out to Jared and asked him questions about the tariffs. When you work at Lehman for 10 years, I'm going to trust him. He can't even make heads or tails of it. This is a guy who made millions for people working at Lehman, made it quite the amount of bank for himself too. And he's like, I can't make heads or tails of this. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
No. And you can't move it and do anything with it because you don't know what's going to happen.
I don't think he knows what's going to happen. And here's why I say that is he says this stuff out loud, and then people are starting to call him, and leaders of other country going, what the fuck are you doing? You're about to cripple.
75 people, but we won't say so much as one.
Even if it's one, the word I heard, and this was Shapiro said,
18. It's gonna take 12 to 18 months to secure a deal. Every fucking trade deal in history has taken at least a year to iron out because nobody gets what they want.
Right. Shapiro said something on Monday that I really that's what made me scratch my head was the person. He didn't name the person. I don't think he got the name. Calling says, you're about to cripple our economy and yours. We're one of your biggest trade partners. And then Shapiro said, which is odd for him to want to do this because it was Trump in his first administration that kind of brokered a lot of these free trade deals.
He completely brokered the one that he's fucking shitting on with
Exactly.
Canada. He fucking toted how fucking amazing he was. But that deal sucked, bro. Like, and everybody's like, they have way higher tariffs. Like, and there's people that don't understand, like, they're not reciprocal. They're what's called glass ceiling tariffs.
Yep.
So we're allowed this much to go into Canada before that number that he's touting, that 36%, actually fucking happens. Now, this deal that he rebrokered is a deal that's been in effect for decades with Canada. He just kind of redefined some terms. It wasn't a fabulous art of the deal situation. The fucked up thing is that let's say we're allowed, before we go to that 36%, we're allowed to import $150 billion worth of whatever it is. In the entire history of trade with Canada, the largest amount, whatever the amount you choose that we've ever hit, regardless of what it is, the largest we've ever hit on that is half.
Yep.
So we've never actually even been fucking close to that. And that's the whole point. It's like if this gets really fucking lopsided, it's going to kick in. But if we keep exactly what we like and doing it now and the way we've been doing it for decades, everything works for everybody. And he's
Exactly.
just
Right.
completely just the pigeon has wrecked the chess table and shit all over it
And strutted away.
running around like he won.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons. I mean, I pick on Ben Shapiro for a lot of things. One being the fastest talker since Beavis, which is why Herm and I have named him Jewish Beavis. I'm not always privy to all of his stances, but he's also a lawyer and can give you the insight onto a lot of these things that, you know, MSNBC or CNN or whoever's feeding you your bullshit isn't going to give you. So I respect him for that. In other ways, the fact that, you know, in the same mouth that he says this is stupid, you know, Trump's about to cripple our country, and then he still waves the flag. I mean, I've to make a point to a young person, 21 years old, I said, you know, you don't have to like the president. You know, you can like the Yankees and not like Aaron Judge. You can like, you know, a band and not like their drummer for one reason or another. Hell, Rush has 1 million fans and Geddy Lee sucks. However, this isn't like that. This is our country. This is our future. Regardless, you don't want to get on a plane and go, you know what, honey, this vacation is going to be great. I sure do hope this plane crashes.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Unbelievable.
And depending on which side you sit on the one side, you've got the Republicans who are, you know, gung-ho and yeah, this is the greatest thing ever, not knowing that this could tank.
Most of the ones that are gung-hoing don't have.
They don't know shit from shit.
They don't know anything. And I'm not going to go so far. I'm just going to say they are not completely educated on all the facets of a lot of this.
Correct.
And a lot of them will cling on a lot of anything that's pumped towards them by their party, and they just repeat, but don't understand. Like the guy at work when the market crashed last week and it came back 2 days later, he's like, yeah, see, the market's all back, all the money's back. Bro, that's not how 401k works at all. All that means is like nobody spent or sold or bought any stocks in the last 2 days. And because he said, all right, no tariffs, everybody's buying and reinvesting again. That's all that means. The money that was lost is gone. It's gone. That's going to take amazing amounts of interest to put back. There are figures that I had to swallow that are double a lot of people's salaries because of what's happened. And that didn't just pop back in. That
the difference between
time for the market to all come back and hope that it does.
The difference between the market correction, as some economists are calling it right now,
right? That river stopped and then started flowing. That's all we witnessed with the Dow.
The difference between the market correction and the money that was lost in your investments through the 401k, the market corrected itself within a week. It will take minimally, if the uptick keeps going, 3 to 5 years for it to level.
Yeah, lost a shitload of money when COVID hit. It all came back. Basically, Jennifer and I are where we were when COVID crashed everything again.
Yep. The most promising speculation, and this came from George Will, who is, if you don't know who George Will is, figure it out. Look it up. the most promising estimation of the time it will take for all those 401ks to come back to where they were is 18 months to 2 years. The people that are on this every day, and that's George Will, and he is probably one of the top names in finance. But
if you're 62
the bigger
right now, you're freaking out.
Yeah. The more stable projection is 3 to 5 years. Yeah, that's what's going on right now.
At 18 to 24 months is like it's a unicorn.
Because the market is not going to go,
and the market goes so fucking boomy high. America within the next 2 years produces more goods and exports them to any other country than China. If that happens. Otherwise, it's 4 to 5.
Because you're not going to see, and we have never seen ever, not day to day for 2 years, a market rise. It always goes up, and it always goes down, and then there's a correction. And if there's a steep drop, it takes quite a while for it to come back up to previous levels. That's why when you watch those charts, it looks like a fucking heartbeat of someone who just got punched in the chest. Or if you're an asshole like me and you're hospitalized, you take that little monitor on your finger and you bang it against your chest.
It's dips and valleys. It's peaks and valleys on a targeted rise.
Right, because the market, it's basically gambling on futures. You buy into something hoping it makes money, and that the interest accrued is going to be substantial. It rises and it falls, and it rises and it falls. And when a company like, say, Halliburton gets totally tanked, and all the people that lost millions on Halliburton, well, you were gambling on Halliburton's future.
You say futures, but that's a whole nother market. That is.
It is. But the futures market, yes,
stocks works is you're banking on basically the future. But then there is actual futures.
The futures market
right now with the whole trade thing. That market is just nobody really understands it except for people that work money. So it's not really big on the radar like the Dow or the market is, but futures right now is like so unstable. And like that, and that's the gas, the tariff thing right now. You're seeing more of the recent drops in gas prices are a reflection of tariffs, because the oil is a world market. The world slows down when this tariff thing happens. Everybody's not buying like they were 2 weeks ago, so that you have less demand because countries aren't buying oil. And because it's a world market, everybody's prices drop. But that's why the instability from the tariffs is causing everybody to pause on oil, which hurts stocks, but also it hurts futures investments because you're banking on an amount of oil being sold later. It's so much instability that this creates.
I gotta reach out to Jared and see if he'll come on.
At 5:30.
Yeah,
a barrel of oil right now costs less than it did before when Obama's first term. It like tripled in price after he got in office. It was lower than it was in 2007. It's lower now than it was in 2007, 2008, and it's forcing the country to kind of slow down. We do it subconsciously because people like me, all right, do I really need to go that extra trip? Because I got to keep an eye on gas because that level of comfort leads to instability.
Oh yeah,
because then there could be a rush, and then the gas stations start running out, and they're like, oh well, here comes the demand, so the price is good. It artificially drives the price up.
Right. You go back 20 years ago.
So volatile.
Oh yeah, you go back 20 years ago when a group of, let's see, it was Jim and his wife, me and my girlfriend, Mike and his wife, not this Mike. there'd be 5 couples that would go up to New Hampshire for the races. We'd rent out a bunch of rooms, have a good time. We all drove our own separate vehicles. We learned eventually, as the prices started going up toward the end of the second Bush administration, we could save a boatload of money if we put 2 couples in one car and 2 couples in another car. And it's easy because paying $40, $50, one tank one way versus everybody chips in a 20 and you get up and back. So is what Jen is still here. Chaka's in the comment section. The prices for barrels of oil right now, we won't see at the pumps for weeks. That is a good point. I'm watching.
It's going to drive prices down. It should drive prices down within the next couple of weeks.
Right. Yeah, that's actually.
I remember really bitching.
That's not really how oil works.
I'm not really bitching.
Funky. It will drop in accordance with that barrel price.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Lynch. I'll get to my point after.
Yeah, because that price, it forces people that are going to stockpile it to stockpile it and gobble it up at that price, because people will do that.
Is what that drop is screwing is the people who bet on the futures. That once again, here we go back to futures. That because you can't, it's a commodity, so you can't buy a stock in it. You can buy stock in the oil company that refines it, but you can't buy stock in the actual oil. When you invest in the actual oil, the price of oil actually fluctuates daily, and actually that's why your gas goes up and down 2, 3, 4 cents. It's oil needs to stay between $78 and $83 a barrel for the refineries to continue to make money.
I've been keeping my. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you weren't finished.
But that's it. So as those prices drop down in a world market, as those prices drop, they're reflected on a world basis, and you see them at the pump. What it's gonna fuck is people who bet on the Trump administration and who bet on futures being high.
I've been watching the prices of the eggs, the gas, and certain other things like a hawk for the last. It'll be 90 days on Sunday, incrementally dropping. If you believed he was going to drop these prices on day one, you're a fucking moron, because that's not how it works.
Because the sickness is gone. We went through a bout. It's
correct.
The same thing we did 2 years ago during the previous administration. It worked itself through. They did the right thing and killed a shitload of birds to stop the spread, and that's all there is to it. We got through it this time the same way. Prices went up, demand was high, supply was low. And prices are coming back down. The industry is recovering, not by any miracle plan that anybody has put into effect to save the eggs, but just that's how it works. A group of living things gets sick, it passes through them. Some of them die, and it moves on, and that's just how that works.
All right. Well, as long as Jen and Chaka are here, we got a half hour left to go. You guys want to have a little fun at our own expense?
Sure.
Herm's going to decide who goes first. We want you guys, Jen, I'm glad you're here. Chaka, get ready for a wild time. And if you're watching this after the fact, you're going to laugh. Herm's going to put up a picture, and we're going to identify the person in the picture, and we're going to roast the shit out of them. All right, get ready. This is, we're going to call this Member. Member when?
Member berries.
Yeah, like George Lopez. Member, you member.
You member.
Ooh, that could be a good title for the segment. You member. We'll have to dig out some pictures another time and do another deep dive like this. But for those of you at home, these are our high school graduation pictures. As soon as Herm drums them up, I'm sorry ahead of time. Oh no!
Whoa, bro!
That guy rented out his forehead for a drive-in movie on the weekends.
I was going to say, did you just erase Eat at Joe's from that fucking 5-head?
It used to say.
You used to say Eat at Joe's. Please.
Holiday Inn, exit 83.
My parents had a Magnavox widescreen in the living room that was the same size as that. It was the big TV.
I'm surprised my hair wasn't blonder, considering how much sun reflected off that fucking forehead.
It
And the worst part of
literally, it saved your hair. Your hair. It literally was like a mirror. It just.
The worst part about that senior picture was Herm will tell you this story. 2 days earlier, we were out playing softball, and I still had all my glorious mullet. And I was like, I can't take it anymore. I'm too goddamn sweaty. I'm going to get my hair cut. And then you get the notice.
I think the best part is the tint on the lenses is just slightly a little tint. It's like I don't know. It's like
they almost
70s Puerto Rican glasses.
They almost made me take those off because I had transition lenses that used to turn into full-on sunglasses, and the light was so bright it started to tint the lenses. So what they had me do was take those off, put them in my pocket, get back to regular, put them on real quick, let's get some shots. And this is the one my parents chose, and you can see it does. It looks like I'm about either I'm going to star in or produce my first adult movie.
Can the defendant please rise?
Now we know why you love Beavis and Butthead. They're your brothers. Jesus Christ, Jen.
Oh my God! Wow, thank you.
I wish to God I would never have cut my hair. That would have been a glorious mullet for that picture. I will dig out a mullet picture. I swear to God. I look like a young Mexican child because I think I dyed it black.
Why are the glasses so fucking big?
I don't know. It was the 80s, man. Everybody had every pair of glasses went from like the middle of your forehead to like your lip.
Old man sunglasses before he was an old man with sunglasses.
Yeah,
my first pair of glasses.
I found pictures up here. My mom gave me a couple years ago, and I'm looking through them. My mom's glasses were like fucking dinner plates. This is like 82. These glasses were like fucking like those.
Yeah. Like I said in the group chat, my glasses could have doubled as your bathroom windows.
Yeah, they were OSHA certified for fucking safety.
You made mention of birth control glasses. When I got to the Army, I didn't have glasses this big anymore. They were slightly smaller, and I was like, thank God. Because all the pictures of me when I was younger, my cheeks when I smiled would hit the lenses, and I would have that half moon right here at the bottom of my lens from all the sweat and the dirt and the shit.
Like two little sausages jammed up in
there. Fucking disgusting. But I don't know what it was. Whoever invented these small lenses that most of us who wear glasses now that we rock every day, thank you. You should have a fucking Nobel Prize and a statue in your town. Next victim, please. Jen, you're fired.
All right.
Here we go.
And this.
And you guys in the comment section, you can roast us too.
And this.
Look at that Guido-looking motherfucker right there.
Boy. He's such a good boy. Looks like a good student. Looks like the priest gave him a box of cookies and $5 to shut up. Angelic soul. Look at this little angel.
Who knew that solemn-looking young man had a mouth like a sailor?
He's looking over his right shoulder, going, "That bitch is cooking that wrong."
That's right.
Pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon?
Oh, that was the
I could be home watching Julia Child right fucking now.
That's some, come on, I got
watching Julia Child on my television right now.
After fucking picture, I got a roast in the oven. Let's go.
Please,
comes
sir.
on in 5 minutes.
Please, sir, may I have some more? And then he gave you all of it. Jesus Christ.
See, there it is.
Oh, was that okay? Now we're gonna tell a story.
Little angel, that angelic soul.
I mean, oh my God,
you could have,
Jen. All I see is untouched little boys.
Oh God, no, boy.
We've got pictures from when we were in high school.
Oh my God.
Then it's mine. So it's just an angelic thing. Like you don't even know the kind of person
I can see Herm on the set on Scorsese's set at the filming of Goodfellas. Yeah, can you get in frame a little bit? Yeah, there you're perfect.
In this case,
get behind Frankie.
Picture doesn't tell 1,000 words. It tells
Right?
1,000 lies. It
does.
tells 1,000 lies.
And the
This
fact
is-
that it's in a
This is
cameo
definitely
frame,
don't judge a book.
it's in a cameo frame
This,
to make
I
you look
mean, like
more
this.
angelic.
Come on.
That's Saint fucking Herman up there.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is
That kid's coming over to watch the dog. You're gonna he's mowing the lawn.
He
That's a
helps the
good
little
boy
old
right
granny across the street with her
Right.
groceries. This is don't judge a book by its cover, because the cover says
He's
solemn.
totally,
and
he's
the
totally
inside-
at his
yeah,
neighbor's girlfriend's house, like plowing her
Yeah,
and looking at being like it's fucking a goddamn Tic Tac.
He's trying to figure out ways to steal steaks right now.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he's like, damn, I got bitches I got to plow.
No, I mean, I had to look. I had to look, good. I had to look good. It was a high school picture. I had to look.
It was a full-time job looking that
It
good.
looked like the fucking criminal I was,
Right?
It's a full-time job.
Because I've seen your face take on so many shapes. The weird thing about this photo for me is the hair. You have hair. And I've seen you without hair now more in my lifetime than I've seen you with hair.
Yeah,
Oh my
beautiful
God.
hair,
Shaved
Herb.
my head
You
for
have
a
beautiful
long
hair.
time.
Yeah,
I had
been
fucking
quite a while.
Great hair.
I don't know about great. I don't know about great.
Great hair.
It was quite pompous. That other picture you showed earlier, Burns, in the group chat, that one
Yeah.
was epic. The
I
side
had
shot.
a
there,
No, that was like the
I
Andrew
had a
Dice
lot of
Clay
hair.
starter kid.
My hair was really dense, but it was super
Yes.
fine. But it was super fine. It is super fine.
like peach fuzz.
That haircut came with a free bowl of soup.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
clip-on tie.
We have to get Martian on this. He has to send his out. We got one more.
All right.
Wait till you see this one. Chaka, Jen, whoever's still out there and not pissing themselves laughing. Are you ready to buy an 84 Corolla with leather seats?
I was going to say, this guy
I got
has an
Cordola.
This guy.
Cordoba.
I was just going to go there, you fuck. This
With the
Cordoba.
fine Corinthian leather.
He's got an 89 Chrysler Cordova.
Fine Corinthian leather.
With Corinthian leather seats and
Waiting
a
for you.
2-year extended warranty. That he's pretty sure he can get a payment that meets your budget.
All right. And then I got some comments on this one.
and I'm pretty sure if he might sell Primera. I'm just saying he could. I'm pretty sure he sells shit investments. I'm just saying.
Hey, boss, you want I should go break his thumbs?
For real, I'm pretty sure. Like,
Yo, would you like to buy some Amway from me?
that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to repeat something I said in the group chat. This looks like the 14th picture on the Bonanno family crime family tree. He's like the third underboss.
Yeah.
He tried out for he tried out for Jimmy 2 times in Goodfellas.
Yeah. Get the paper,
He's
get
the one that
paper.
introduces you to Frankie roast beef.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Tony the lip.
Lynchy the chin.
Richie
I
the
do.
nose.
I have to give you credit where the other two of us don't, is that you actually had hair that covered your forehead, whereas
Yeah.
ours went the
Yeah.
other way. It's like our hair was running away from our face. Yours was running to meet its family of caterpillars just above your eyes.
I was wearing a Bill,
I had-
that was a Bill Cosby sweater.
I believe it. You probably
I
diddled
could
you
tell
just
that.
before that.
Your mom bought that at the DNL over in Groton.
No, my mom bought it. No, my mom bought it from the lady in Mystic that made all of Bill Cosby's sweaters.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
looks like the guy that ushers you
too.
into the school board meeting.
Retired member of Menudo. Yeah.
Right. This is this assistant superintendent right here. This is it.
I often get that, Jen. Seriously.
He was
And these are guys that went. These are close friends that I went to high school with. Hey, what's up? What's up, the reject from the fucking Menudo clan?
Wow. I cannot believe I just heard Menudo brought
Menudo.
to the Wow.
I
Oh my
mean,
lord.
can't be any more fucking Irish and French. Like those are the predominant traits in my lineage.
That face,
Irish,
that face tells
Irish,
me
French, and Polish, and then whatever native I am.
that silly ass grin tells me that you got into an accident. You're happy that you hired the offices of Marquis Salamone and Morelli.
I remember this day pretty well. I too had just gotten a haircut, and my grandfather brought me to get my haircut. And he brought me to John's barbershop over the next to the Old Benny's in
Nice.
Groton. As I've got my first haircut there. And he says,
I got pictures of that somewhere in that joint.
He says, "What do you want? What's your grandson want?" I was like, just a regular haircut. He's like, "No, give him a high and tight." And I'm like, "No."
Oh, that would have been awesome.
I had to beg my grandson. I'm like, just let me get my normal cut. And
hey, while that picture's up, can you bring up Jen's comment on the screen? Because Lynch, what's the best compliment you ever got?
I think this one just rocketed to the top.
Lynch was hot, not gonna lie.
You know what? You know what? I look back at high school from. I kind of blossomed in junior into senior year. This is the before my senior year started. So this is August of '89. That's kind of when I peaked and I blossomed.
I didn't blossom until my 30s.
Okay. I was the most athletically built that I've ever been in my life.
He's 27 right now, so just so you know, he's 27.
Yeah, I'm really 20. I have Benjamin butthole disease. And I didn't know how much pussy I had like in front of me. And I'll talk to people that I went to, through Facebook, blah blah blah, or we'll run into each other. She's like, "Man, I had such a crush on you in high school." I'm like, "You did?" And I'm like, "Oh, wow. I was pretty okay." I mean, my dad was a good guy at his age, because we've aged almost exactly the same way. If you look at pictures of my dad from my age 52, we look very similar.
I'm not going to lie to you on that one.
Like when you first met my dad was around this age.
Yeah.
And
wow,
I knew what I had coming ahead of me.
I was lucky to get lucky. And then somewhere in my late 20s, early 30s is when you see the girls from high school and they're like, wow, whatever they said. I don't know. But it was like, where was this 12, 15 years ago? Well, I looked like that in that photo. I'm surprised. I think it was the mullet and the music. That was it. Because past that, I was not an attractive young man. I'd be lucky if I could get toothless ladies at the soup kitchen to blow me back then. No offense to my ex-girlfriend, Mary, who does sometimes watch this show. Sorry, Mary. I didn't mean to call you a toothless hobo. Or my friend Dawn, who told me she had a crush on me in high school. I'm like, really? That doesn't make sense. I look like somebody took Skippy and Alex P. Keaton and put them through a blender. I was the worst of both worlds.
Well, see, senior year, I was with a girl through the entire school year. I was dating this girl, Jill. We started dating that like summer. She was going into junior.
Jill.
Yeah. She was a sophomore. I was a senior. And so we dated for like a year and a half until after. So they were like, "Oh, we were totally fucking flirting with you, but you were with Jill." I'm like, I would have left her.
Shit. I don't know if you can get this picture, Herm. I'm going to resend it. When I met Lynch, and this is probably, I'd say about 10 years into our friendship.
Yeah, that was in Plainfield, like 2006, 2007, 2008.
I certainly apologize for the, I don't know who took this picture. It was probably my daughter, so she was drunk.
Yeah,
at 4 or 5 years old or whatever. But this is, to me, this is like peak Lynch, peak Burns. I wish I had a peak Herm is like now. You have reached your peak. You are like fucking Stellar McGillicuddy right now.
You are a fine wine.
Yes. You asked me 20 years ago if I thought Herm would weigh almost as much as me at the same time. I'd have said, which leg did you cut off? And now he
Right.
is like the pinnacle of manliness right now.
Right.
But in this photo with Jen in the comment section, this is probably the Chris, me, that she remembers. And that fine, handsome devil, you started going gray early, my man. I ain't going to lie to you. You look at that picture, and I'm like, you could see you had the runway of dark, and everything else was.
Yeah, I started growing gray in my early 30s.
This picture, at my best estimation, was 2011 because we both got our gear on. We're probably nope, it was the year after because I have my 2011 championship jersey on. So this is either we're watching. The next year, the Bruins went to the finals against Chicago, I think, and lost.
Yep.
So we were watching hockey together. This is the house in Warregan.
Yep.
Emma did not fall asleep before the second intermission. So that's how you know the Bruins lost. The dapper Don. She's still riffing on your picture, man. Wow. You got a fan club now. Population 1.
Population 1.
I'll give you 1.5 because you are still married.
True. Well, she gets a full vote.
Who, the wife?
Yeah.
All right, you got 2 people in your fan club. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'll never call you dapper anything.
Remember, I will say the monthly fee. The monthly fee is $10.99.
Wow. Does that include exclusive feed videos?
Includes nothing. Yeah.
Look at those handsome young gentlemen. Damn, we got old. Again, 2012, so we're talking 13 years ago, and wow. That's amazing. There's a picture of us somewhere, Lynch, and I'll dig it out, at the Motley Crue show, probably 2 to 3 years before this.
Yeah.
No. Oh, my God, it was probably 10 years before that. And we were both some svelte, good-looking motherfuckers. That was serious, though. He's got the sophisticated look, plus I love food, so he gets bonus. Jesus Christ, Jen. If Lynch was going to have an ego, you just did it. You gave him one. And if you want to talk about food, that not so hairy motherfucker up, well, when he's got his shirt on, that not so hairy motherfucker up in the upper left corner got us all beat.
Over here.
Yep. To steal a phrase from Herm, that nigga could cook garbage and make it amazing. What do we got here today? These are used Hungry Man boxes with a little bit of used Dawn, but we put water in it because
she's correcting herself. She's I think I'm the hot one.
I think we're both.
Oh, wait a minute. Hot now? Because this is peak Herm. Herm in that photo in 1991, all he was missing was the words Goodyear on one side and Eat It Joe's on the other. I'm just picking on you, Herm. Okay. We had 10 minutes. You want to you look up the word fearless in the dictionary, and Chris Burns 1988. It was mostly the drugs, but Chris Burns had no fear, and I'm going to explain why. A bunch of us on the bus played a prank on a young lady, and Herm was the first one called to the office at school. We did not realize that adults were smarter than us back then and could figure out, well, if Herm's on this particular bus and this person rides this bus and there's probably 6 or 7 other culprits, in my mind, at all of 16, 17 years old, all I thought was Herm ratted me out. Herm ratted us all out. Herm is the rat. Now, Herm in high school, I'm going to guess 6'1", 6'2", tipping about 250. Well, not to pick on you, but what was your weight?
I don't know. Probably more than that.
Okay. Chris Burns was 5'9", maybe. I tip out at 5'10" now.
Stay on the book.
Maybe, stop it. Maybe $1.25 soaking wet with a brick in my pocket. And I brought Kraft singles onto the bus and tossed them at who I thought was the rat. And this giant ass human being got up and told me what he was going to do after he pulled my throat completely out. I'm going to beat you with your own esophagus. I'm going to rip off your arm and stick it up your ass, and you're going to tickle your own spleen. And I said probably the dumbest thing anyone could have ever said. And that was, bring it, motherfucker! No fear. None. But you know what happened? The next week, we became friends. And I don't know why. I don't remember why. What was the do you remember the turn of events that led us from I'm going to rip out your spine and stick it up your ass to I'm going to be your friend for the next 40 years? It was a transition. I think it was because we both started the job at about the same time.
Right around then.
Yeah. So we were incarcerated in this McDonald's kitchen, starting in Groton, then migrating to the new McDonald's in Gales Ferry, Connecticut. Now going on 39 years strong, or whatever the fuck it is. And we had no choice but to realize he likes cool shit. I like cool shit. We could probably like cool shit at the same time and be friends. And yeah, there you go. Lynch was hot in high school. Herm is sophisticated now. There you go. I don't know. So he's sophisticated looking. I'll give him that.
Word.
He's got the yucca plant. I got the
zaddy thing going on now.
The only thing you don't want to do is see him without the shirt.
I look like the kind of guy that might let younger girls hang out on his boat. That's what it is. And just remember,
that's a nice
young ladies that are all like, I want a man that has a big boat. Just remember, the men that have enough money to own those big boats, they look like me and they look like us.
Yes, but Herm's not the kind that will traffic you. Herm's not the kind of guy that will traffic you out of Mexico to sell you as a sex slave. That's the difference. Only the super hot ones, Herm. Only the super hot ones.
No.
You don't want to sell the Amy's of the world. And you know which Amy I'm talking about.
Finger cups?
Redhead. No. Redhead, pizza face. Your meat. No. This is how this woman had children. I'll never understand. Here's the worst thing. Here's the worst thing. This woman looked like a pizza with a wig and had two of the most beautiful young ladies. I just saw them not too long ago at a funeral. And those two girls grew up to be just some really beautiful women. And they're good people. They really are. But the mother, hunk of shit. Inside and out. Mm-hmm. I don't play around. I'm going to tell you the truth. Even when I lie, I'm going to tell you the truth. That was fun. We'll get Martian on this next time. We'll dig up. I'll ask my mom to send me some mullet pictures.
Yeah, my mom keeps telling me she has a bunch of photographs she wants to give me. In some of the hard drives that she had that had my dad's photos on them. I'm going to start seriously archiving a lot of that stuff onto new media.
Right.
And I'm also going to. So right before he died, he was working on a coffee table book, photography. And I found the photos that were supposed to be in the book.
Nice.
And I have his handwritten outline and a digital outline of what he wanted. I might try to pursue it.
There you go. I'm going to try to get my mom to send me the picture the next time we play this game. She has a picture of me sitting on a couch. I don't remember who's next to me. I can tell you what I was wearing because I remember the photo. I still had the glorious mullet after I regrew it. I'm wearing an Extreme, the band, t-shirt from the 92-93 tour. Jeremy Beebe and I went to that show. And dark, I dyed my hair jet black, and I wasn't smart enough to dye what little mustache I had. My daughter saw this picture when she was about 12, and her reaction was, "I didn't know Dad was Mexican." She told me I looked like I should be selling fruit on an off ramp in Florida.
Oh my God.
Jen, I looked exactly the same. Like I had an eating disorder. I was so skinny, much bigger hair too. Jen had some glorious ass big hair. Even in the late 90s, early 2000s, Jen had glorious hair. You know who else had some really, really fucking good hair? I don't know if you remember Herm. I can't remember her last name. She was in your year, Lisa something. Always had that big blonde, fucking giant 80s rock star chick hair.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know her last name.
Doesn't matter. She had the body to match. Unfortunately, her teeth were she had goes this way teeth. One goes this way, one goes this way, one goes this way.
Yeah.
I mean, put a
Summer
bag over her head.
Some are here, some are there.
Right. Unlike that one girl from high school that liked me and I didn't like her. She had summer teeth. Some are green, some are brown, some are yellow, some are missing.
Yeah. Some are rotten.
Yep. And of course, not that we went to school with her, but I can say 2 words to Pop Herm, and that is Goat Girl.
Voag chick?
No. Herm and I used to help our good friend Mort Krieger, God rest his soul, with his junior high school drill team, kind of making sure we could corral all the kids so he could do what he needed to do. And this young girl had a very pretty face, and she'd come up, and the first time she did, one time, and then we were like, she'd come up to give you a hug, and you got the smell of barnyard and BO. Like she hadn't showered since birth.
Oh, that's so sexy.
And there are still people to this day. There's probably 5 or 6 people. If I say Goat Girl, they understand. And Herm is one of them.
Yeah. Nothing
Basketball
like horse manure and BO.
I'm going to use that one, Jen.
Down to the final
Basketball
4.
team. Down to the final 4. That's good shit.
March Madness.
Well, she looked like a jack-o'-lantern without the stem.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed that trip down memory lane as much as we all enjoyed bashing the shit out of each other. It was fun. Thank you. That was a good smile. But we'll be back next week. Don't forget, May 6th, 1-star strip club reviews. I am going to call it the Resurrection. I don't give a shit what time of year it is. We're bringing it back. Lynch, any final word?
Yeah, Easter Sunday.
Yes, happy Easter, everybody.
Sunday, 420. Yo, toke.
Hey, 420 being Easter means Herm's going to make a bong out of an egg.
A bong out of a ham. Easter ham.
I'll probably be working.
Oh, all right. Well, I will not be. I'll be changing my brake pads with Billy. So
we're not doing anything. We never do.
But whatever you do on Easter, enjoy. Next week, I have to double check with John Beck. We may do the WrestleMania thing. We may not sure. But if we don't, we'll come up with something fun.
Yeah.
Word.
All right. Peace, people.
Later.
I'm hungry.
That, Jen, might not be a bad idea. Herm, a chocolate bunny bong.
That could work.
Yeah, it keeps melt. It'll melt. Got jam it in its ass. Smoke it like through its ears.
In your mouth. Oh, Jesus. Of course it went to the butt stuff.
But
Herm, say goodnight.
Anal,
See y'all next week.
with anal, I will play. Anal. I made it out of glass.